Hi, I'm Chuck Klappa, and this is my wife, Debbie, and we are living here in Alto Boquete, Panama. And we've been here 3 years now. And what really, we came from North Carolina with our 2 dogs and our 3 suitcases. And we came here just because we wanted to change in our lives, and we were paying way too much in healthcare costs. And I came home from work one day, and I was 56 years old, and my wife says, "Do you want to retire?" And I said, "I'd love to retire." She says, "Let's do it. Let's go." Well, then the pandemic happened, and we were forced to give up our tour that we were going to take a couple, 3 times. And I was actually going to take a tour with my sister as well. And my mother passed away. So that kind of put that all on the back burner. And Debbie says, well, I've been doing a lot of research, and I think we just buy the online guide and don't worry about the tour. So we came down here. I was a little apprehensive about it, but once I got into country and met some of the people, it just, all my troubles just went away. It went really, really smoothly for us. Getting our dogs here, getting our belongings here. We didn't ship anything. We just had our suitcases, and that was it. So it went very, very smoothly, and the people here are very welcoming. We stayed in a little Airbnb when we first got here, and then we moved into our first place, rented, and that's all we do now is we rent. And I'm really, really, really happy about being here because now I'm retired.
We actually were the first people to buy the online guide, and it really has become our Bible to Panama. I can't see how anybody can move here without some type of guidance. And I know people have done it. They've fallen flat on their faces, making mistakes. It's cost them so much. I mean, that guide is a bargain. We actually saved $900, which more than paid for the guide because of a mistake that we almost made. So highly recommend that you either buy the guide or take a tour. If you know exactly where you want to settle, be it the mountains or the beach, then, come on down and just take a private tour of that area.
Yes.
Check it out. You really want boots on the ground. Come and, see the area, see the country.
But also get in touch with some of the other expats in the community because they'll be very, very helpful to you as well. If you have any questions, and if you can't get an answer from a Panamanian, you can just ask a lot of the expats. I think we have like 3,000 expats living here in Boquete. So to find your answers that you need, they're going to be readily available downtown. Go talk to your expats. Get into some of the groups that they have. They'll get your answers for sure.
And by buying the online guide, you also gain access to Jackie's private Facebook group. So you can go in there. It's a wealth of information. You can ask any questions you have. Everybody in there are so friendly, so helpful.
Yes.
All the people here have been wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
We've approached strangers, and asked them for recommendations for rentals, and they have been so helpful with us. It has really been a great move for us. We don't have any regrets. We really were ready for a change because our main reason for coming here was the medical costs in the U.S. Chuck had 5 knee surgeries in 10 years, and the financial burden was just too much for us. It was overwhelming. Our insurance was so expensive. It's almost $2,000 a month, and our deductibles were really high. Our co-insurance was crazy. Co-payments were crazy. And I just said, this really is unsustainable for us. So we started looking at alternatives. We found Panama Relocation Tours. And the first time I talked to Jackie, she said, you can do this. And I said, well, Chuck's only 56. Okay, so we have another 6 years to go. And she said, well, start, following my website, read everything. She was sending me articles. So I started religiously following her, including every single conference call. And before you know it, 6 years turned into 6 months. We were ready to come to Panama, and 11 days before we were coming, the pandemic hit. We had already sold our house, so we basically lived out of our car with 2 dogs for 8 months, and we were homeless. So we were up and down the East Coast, living in various Airbnbs, but you have to remember when the pandemic hit, a lot of the Airbnbs shut down, and then a bunch of them didn't take dogs. So it was a bit challenging, and the minute the borders opened in October, we were here. Right now we are living in Alto Boquete, and we are in a Panamanian-style house. It's about 1,200 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. One of the bedrooms we use actually as a storage room. We pay $550 a month here, and that includes all of our utilities, except for our propane. And our propane, a tank lasts us about 4 months, and it's strictly for our oven and our stove. I have right here, actually, our last electric bill, and it is $12.36. Okay, there's no mail here in Panama, so they just leave the electric bill
Stick it in the
in
gate.
our fence out there. Our landlord pays this bill, but up in North Carolina, we were paying between $300 and $400 a month for utilities. So you can see it's far more economical down here. Now, prior to coming to Alto Boquete, we lived up in Volcancito, okay? And it was a North American style house, very modern house. It had, beautiful granite countertops, a bigger kitchen, but it was only 600 square feet. We could only have 4 people maximum come to visit us. So they ended up doing some construction there. It became so noisy. And they were banging the hammers at 6 o'clock in the morning, 6 days a week. So we finally said, it's time to move on.
Noisy and dusty. Noisy and very dusty.
And just by word of mouth, we found this place. And it's double the size. We had a party here with 10 people. It's a lot more space. We now have a fenced-in backyard for
That's
our
a big
dogs.
one right there. Our fenced-in backyard was big for us.
Even though it's not modern, it's very dated. When it rains, it's like a Lear jet landing on the roof of the house because it's not insulated, okay, like our North American style house. But again, it's so much more affordable. We were paying $800 a month at the Volcancito place. So that extra $250 that we save every month, that pays our health insurance, it pays our car insurance, our cancer insurance. So it's a really big savings, and we love the location here.
Very
also
centrally located because we've got grocery stores across the street. We've got one right next door to us. Plus, we have a Uno Express right next to us if we need to mail anything. I've got an auto parts store right next to me. Plus, a clinic for the vet is right here. They sell a lot of pet food. Plus, they have a dog washing service there too. So if I want that, there's also a hardware store right across the street. And a beauty shop as well. So
bakery.
And a bakery, yeah. So it's very centrally located. We really like it here. It's quiet. It's a lot bigger, like Debbie was saying, with the fenced-in backyard. That was big for me because I just wanted to be able to just open my door and let my dogs out. Because at the other place, we had them on a cable, and I had to watch them constantly, and I didn't like having to do that. So this is a nice house. You may not like the furnishings, you may not like the colors, you may not like the bedspreads, things like that, but hey, you can always change those things if you want. So as far as grocery stores and getting produce and fruits and vegetables here, we have several options. We have, as far as I remember, I've got like 4 fruit stands just around our house here that we can walk to and get our fruits or our vegetables. If we can't find it at one stand, we'll just go on to the next, and they probably have it. We have a restaurant that's within walking distance of us, and it's very good. It's a Panamanian-style restaurant. It's very cheap. We can eat for $5 to $6 a piece there, and we've done that several times where we can just walk and go to get something to eat for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Downtown Boquete, you've got several options for restaurants. You can eat expensively if you want. You can eat cheaply if you want. It's just up to you, however you want to do it. We can even walk there from here if we want to walk downtown. Otherwise, if we just take a taxi, it's about $2 to go to Bajo Boquete or come back up here to Alto Boquete. So it's fairly cheap. And like I said, you can get about any type of meal that you want as far as restaurants go. Italian, you can get Chinese, I think they just had an Indian restaurant open up. Also, the grocery stores. We've got a brand new raised grocery store that's being built right now. It's huge. Plus, you have all these little smaller grocery stores that you can go to get groceries. You don't have to go into a big supermarket if you don't want to.
If you buy North American brands, okay, you're definitely going to pay more for them because they're imported. Okay, but if you can substitute with the store brand, you're going to save a lot of money. Sometimes you're going to save as much as 50%. I know this for a fact because I like to buy fruit cocktail, a large can, and the North American brand is $4. I can buy the store brand for $2, and it tastes every bit as good to me. So you just have to shop around. You will also find here in Boquete, certain stores, okay, will have, say, chicken and eggs, and they will be the cheapest in town. We go to one that's down in San Francisco Plaza. That's where most of the expats go for the best prices when it comes to buying chicken and eggs. So sometimes we go down to Debbi, grocery shopping. One of our favorite places is at the Federal Mall. It's called El Fuerte. And it's a large grocery store, wide aisles.
About 35 kilometers from our house here. About 40 minutes worth of a drive.
It has a large variety of items, North American items, local items. The second floor actually is all clothing. The third floor is household goods. So we really love that store. And sometimes we go to Price Smart, which is kind of like Costco. You buy in bulk. And they are also down in Debbi. It is a membership. You pay $35 a year, but we do shop there. You can really save a lot of money. They have appliance stores there. They have clothing stores there.
Conway, which is
there.
a subsidiary of Target. A lot of people don't know that, but that's a big store down here is Conway. And Panafoto, which is like Best Buy. They're a lot like Best Buy. Do-It Centers. Another hardware type store. We've got a lot of banks that we have down here. We've got like 5 different banks here in Boquete. And many of them have English speaking networks that they have, people that work there. Also their internet services, they have some English and there's certain things that are in the guide that'll tell you which banks to go by. So we have mobile vet services here. We have several veterinary offices here. Not just in Boquete, but out going towards Debbi. There are also veterinary services in Debbi as well. But I recently went and saw this mobile vet. He was very reasonable. He checked on my dog, and it was $15 to lick at my dog. So, and that was with medication and 1 prescription. So it's very reasonable. Just like our healthcare, their healthcare is very cheap and reasonable. So. And there's also you can get medications for your animals right downtown.
Boquete has so many activities. We actually get a daily newsletter in our email, always announcing, current things that are going on this week. We have live music almost every night downtown. Chuck's in pickleball, never played pickleball in his life till he came here. He now plays pickleball 3 times a week.
3 times a week, yep.
And pickleball,
but it's available. It's available pretty much in 2 locations, 5 days a week or more. Just depends on how much you want to do. So,
and pickleball is all ages. They have teenagers playing. They have people in their 70s playing. So, don't be afraid to come down here and try it. They have a hiking group. They have a photography group. They have
bicycling,
bingo night, cycling.
Card groups, you've got Bible studies, you've got all kinds of different activities, bridge clubs, you've got domino clubs, you've got all kinds of different activities if you want. Plus they have alumni get-togethers for the PRT groups, usually once a month, I think it is, about once a month in different locations. So you can do that. There's anything that you can do in the States, you can do here in Panama. They have a lot of different activities.
They have a lot of volunteer opportunities here. They have a spay and neuter clinic once a month. It's usually the last Sunday of every single month. So they're always looking for volunteers.
Yes.
You can have your cat spayed or neutered here for $10. Your dog is $20. There are all kinds of volunteer opportunities. So, get on the email list. It's free. I think it's called News Boquete, and they will keep you updated every single day, okay, of what activities we have here in Boquete.
So currently, Debbie and I live in a Panamanian neighborhood. The road is not paved, it's gravel. The homes here in this area are a lot smaller than what you'd see like up Volcancito, which is a lot more North American style homes. This is a one-level home that we live in. There are no two-level homes around here. Most of them are all one-level Panamanian-style homes, and you're going to find smaller rooms. You may just have a carport. You're not going to have garages down here, so to speak. So, but we are, like I was saying before, we are centrally located. We're about 1.5 kilometers from downtown Boquete. We could walk if we wanted to. We could opt to take a taxi. That's about $2 to get downtown. The people here are very, very friendly, and they're going to help you out if you need any help at all with anything. I do have a gentleman that's one of my neighbors that's a bus driver. He's offered to take me downtown. So
one of our dogs got out one day, couldn't find him, and down the road a ways, a Panamanian woman caught him, picked him up, walked him up the street to us, saw that we were looking for him. So very, very friendly, helpful people here. They always have a smile for us. They always say buenos dias. Just wonderful people.
Yes.
I mean, these are neighbors you can count on. If you have an emergency or anything, do suggest that you try to learn a little bit of Spanish. That really does help a lot.
Duolingo helps. Google Translate is a big one. Google Translate's a real good app to have on your phone. Also, WhatsApp down here is that's the way everybody calls everybody else pretty much. And but you get a really good sense of neighborhood here where we are living in community. The medical care, if anybody's worried about that down here, it's top notch. It's wonderful down here. It's really, really good. And you can get pretty much anything you need down here. If you can't find it here in Boquete, you go to Debbi or you go to Panama City. You're going to find a specialist you need. They're going to be here. And most of them are trained in the United States. So don't worry about your health care with the quality of your health care down here. I went to see Dr. Gomez because I was having some skin issues. I had some eczema on my arms, and I also had some back pain. I play pickleball 3 days a week, and I had some back pain. So I went to downtown to see Dr. Gomez, and I sat down with him, and he says, okay, well, what are we here for? And I told him about my back pain and my eczema, and he says, okay, well, first things first. He says, let's check your blood pressure. So he says, oh, it's 190 over 120. You're not going anywhere. And I went, okay. So he put a pill under my tongue, and he sat me back in his, he's got like a hospital room in his office. Sat me back there for an hour, and came back and took my blood pressure again. And he says, okay, I can let you leave now. He said, here's your prescription for your eczema. Here's a pain medication for you. And here's something for your blood pressure. I'm going to see you in 10 days.
So what happened with the pre-existing condition is the insurance company ended up excluding it for 2 years. So anything having to do with Chuck's high blood pressure would not be covered for 2 years. So last year, when the policy renewed for the 3rd year, they started covering his blood pressure 50-50. Okay, everything else on this insurance is covered 70-30 with the co-insurance. And at this point, we are only paying $175 a month, which compared to almost $2,000 a month, our deductible down here is only $500 compared to we were paying $8,200 per person up in the US. This insurance also, it only goes up every 10 years. So it only goes up when you turn 50, 60, 70. So last week, Chuck just turned 60, which means the premium is going to probably go up in December when it renews. Might have to trade him in for a younger model. So if you are interested in Panama, we highly recommend that you either try buying the guide, or you can hire a private tour guide if you're just interested in one area here. But if you want to see this entire country, take the tour. It is so worth it. You will see different areas of the country. You'll see rentals. You'll meet expats that are already living here.
I highly recommend that that you do that, because you're going to find out different settings. You're going to have beach settings. You're going to have mountain settings where we are. You're going to have a lot of expat, like Debbie was saying, expat communication, and they're going to tell you what it was like for them to move down. And it's going to just kind of put your mind at ease if you have any apprehension about coming down here. Yes, it is a leap of faith, but if you start to talk to some of these people, it's going to put your mind at ease. It really will.
Yes, we love living down here in Panama. I mean, this is home to us. We've been here 3 years now. We have absolutely no regrets. For us, this was the best decision we could ever make. It's so much more affordable here. People are friendly. Our quality of life is 100% better. We left all the stress behind.
Yes.
We left it at the border. And I'll be honest, the minute our plane landed, in Panama City, all of a sudden the stress level was way down.
Yes.
So this is just a really excellent
Best
move
thing
for
I've
us.
ever done in my life. Wonderfully. Best thing I've ever done in my life, for sure. We'll see you in Panama.